Matthews, hi. Just as promised, going to try and sort of keep putting little videos on fairly regularly for people, because the 8 or 9 of you that watched the first one really seem to like it. So there we go. We can be like a little small family or club of people who just share stories, which is actually not a bad thing. So here I am. Today is Father's Day, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that, really. But first of all, I need to explain where I am, because probably looks a little odd. You can probably see, in fact you can, because I can see it on the screen in front of me. Actually, okay, the glass behind me is like really reflective. I had no idea, because I was looking at going, you can't see out the back of the van I'm in, so how am I seeing that? And what I'm seeing is the road in front of me, and then it kind of, the penny dropped, because me. And yeah, so this is what I do just to earn a little bit of extra cash. I drive a digital advertising van for a very good friend of mine. But I just do it for free. No, I get paid. But yeah, it's for my dear pal Dean, who I've worked with for 11 years. Oh, you poor bastard! 11 years of me. How have you managed that? But this is a little enterprise he's set up, so it's a digital advertising van. It's got screens either side. It's run from a laptop, which is currently by my feet, and you can put anything on that. I think you can probably put porn on it. I haven't yet, so yeah, I'm not going to. Where would you do that, right? As much as I am really intrigued to see what that looks like, I can't think of anywhere I could possibly go where it would kind of be okay. The screens are like, well, they're like twice the size of me. They're like in length, and yeah. So yeah, I really would love to know what that looks like, but can't think of anywhere on earth I could take it and do it. Yeah, moving swiftly on. So yeah, so here I am. I'm in Llanelli right now. I have been parked over by like a Tesco's for what, 10 till 1, 3 hours. Had a bit of food over there, play some games, because it's a bit, you need something to pass the time when you're just sat in a van for the like 8 hours solid or whatever. I'm at my current place for an hour, and then I go and sit in a place in Swansea, very close to where I used to live in Swansea, and I can actually see my house from where I park. I got out the other day and I was like, that's my old house. Yeah, I sit there for 4 hours. So I have my script with me. This is probably really wobbly, I'm sorry. Script. Because I kind of mostly know my lines, given it's less than 2 weeks till we're performing. Should probably know them better than I currently do at this stage. But it's one of those years, it's flown by. I mean, here we are, middle of June. And I feel like I've only just finished Panto, which was New Year's Eve, last show. And I've already got an audition date in for this year's Panto. Fingers crossed that all comes together, because that sounds quite exciting. Dan at the Savoy has kind of told me what his plan is and what he's doing with the show and some of the features and technology he's going to be using. Sounds awesome. I mean, for a very small independent theatre that is not, you know, cash rich, and has to fight tooth and nail for every audience member, every seat sold. The work Dan and Hayley are doing at Savoy with Jackie and all the rest of the team is phenomenal. So if you are in South Wales, or if you're coming to South Wales for any reason, check out the Savoy in Tonyrefawr and just see what's on, because I promise you, if there is something on, it'll be cool and you will like it. So yeah, so that's just a little bit about where I am, and what my day is today. So Father's Day, and it's fair to say my dad is a hell of a character. I'm not going to talk about you know, growing up with my dad and stuff like that, because the honest answer is I kind of didn't. He was around. If you know me, chances are you probably know a lot of that stuff already. My childhood was less than conventional for its time. I think probably a lot of kids grew up in a very similar situation to what I did now. But in the late 70s and early 80s, it wasn't prevalent, it wasn't a norm. And this is actually harder to say than I thought it would be. But okay, I'll give you just a couple of very small specifics, and then I'll move on to what I was really kind of chat about. And I can remember first day in junior school. It was a new school. I hadn't come through the same infants as pretty much everyone else in the class. And I can remember looking over at two of the teachers, my teacher and another teacher, who were lovely, don't get me wrong, but they were kind of doing that whole looking at me, and it was the obvious that, oh yeah, his parents aren't together. Like it was a thing, like it was, I don't know, it made me feel like it was a bad thing. I didn't feel unhappy about it at the time. Never felt really unhappy about my childhood. It was only as an adult when people started saying to me, oh, it must have been so difficult for you. I was like, well, yeah, I guess some things were. But ultimately, I had a ball. I had so much fun. Because I went out and made my own fun, and I made friends, and I was always smaller and not quite as strong as everyone else, so I couldn't run as fast, I couldn't swim at all for a very long time, couldn't ride a bike till I was like 11, so I was always kind of like the little kid everyone else looked after, but we had a scream, an absolute scream, and I don't think I'd change a day of it, not a single day. The story I really want to talk about was Uncle Elton. Forgive me if you've heard this. So a gal, gonna go 10 years ago. Dad, I think when he first joined Facebook or some online thing, where he had like a picture that he was using as his professional sort of profile and stuff. And he had these big round glasses on, and he sort of got this. My dad's not great at smiling for photographs. If it's like a group of people or whatever, yeah, fine. If you say try and get a picture of just him, he kind of gets this bemused turtle look, and there's a smile in there somewhere. But I just saw the picture and I said, oh my god. And that wasn't me. Actually, it wasn't me. I didn't make the initial comment. Someone else made the initial comment of, oh my god, Chris, you look like Elton John. I'm going to try and steady the camera a little bit for you, because you probably would throw it up by now. I'm so sorry. I'm sure YouTube will tidy it up, it's fine. And then Dad started down, well, Elton John did grow up, you know, just in reality very close by to my dad. And it's no real secret that my granddad got around. See, genetic, I had no hope. I've calmed down now. Paul will tell you. And so it kind of snowballed. And so it was like, oh wow, you know, if Grandad Roy was kind of, you know, about a bit, and my dad was like, oh my god, and I don't think Elton John's father was present, you know, and his dad always hated him, he never got on with his dad. I wonder why that was. And it just became this thing where I was like, Dad, what if we're related to Elton John? And Dad, bless your heart, you've ran with it, and you've run with it for years, and it really winds Jenny up, which I think's hilarious. Sorry, Jenny. Jenny's fab, she's my aunt. So there is this now whole running joke of Uncle Elton. And the thing is, do you know what? It could be true. Do I think it is? Probably not. No. But it could be. And isn't that half the fun? Isn't it just about possibility and what could be and potential? And, you know, these aren't things we can fix or change. You know, I can't go back and make it so that Elton John is my uncle. I can't grab my granddad by the hand, take him round to Mrs. John. I do know two Mrs. John, so that's weird. Mrs. what's his name? Dwight. Reginald Dwight. Is it Mrs. Dwight? Is that right? Anyway, house and go, here, Grandad, get in there, son. But it's just fun to think about the ifs, buts, and maybes. And I think it's all a part of creativity. And there's a word in there somewhere. Creativity, imagination, and I think you should just have a little bit of an open mind to the what if. So this week at some point, just do it. Just sit down, and when something presents yourself, just think through the what if, because it might open the door for you. You just never know. This is a perfect example. I sort of went for a radio job just kind of as I don't really think I'm going to get it. I'm fairly certain it's all going to be sort of media people, and I'm not really a media person. I've worked in call centres for God knows how many years, and I went for it on a what if, and I've been doing the job 14 years, and it's taken me to wonderful places, and it's afforded me all kinds of opportunities. It's the first time I ever set foot on the actual TARDIS before they opened it up to paying public. I've met animatronic from Scissor Sisters and sat in and helped interviewers, stuff like that. So it's just never dismiss a what if, because you just don't know. Give it a shot.